So my name is Calvin Leung. I'm the head of marketing and creative for Yeezy Gap. Basically everything I do is about helping bring the creative vision of the brand to life. Everything from marketing to experiences, activations, and branding. It's a pretty, I'd say, open, kind of function, but it's really exciting. Small, mighty team, all very talented, but it's very untraditional, I'd say, in what we do. When I was in high school, I was a jock, so I grew up playing basketball my whole life. But I was also an artist. I was really into drawing and sketching and illustrating. And I think somewhere, in that juxtaposition of those two interests, I found a curiosity in fashion. Especially basketball in the 90s was very much influential, I think, to overall fashion and culture. And at the same time, my interest in illustration sort of piqued this curiosity into design. I didn't know it at the time, but somehow I think those two worlds really set the stage for, what was next for me. I think the first time, so as I mentioned earlier, I grew up really being into art and illustrating. And when that sort of translated into me just sort of designing things, like having these ideas and sketching them out, I think that was the first time I realized I had a passion for design and fashion. And I started, the first things I used to really draw were sneakers. And I think my first dream job I probably decided I wanted was to be a sneaker designer. So, I think just that sort of curiosity into being able to create things and ideas with my own hands really piqued my interest in fashion. The one I'd actually consider my first job was an internship with the Brooklyn Circus, which is a brand here in New York. It was a small brand founded by Ouija Theodore, and I was a big fan of the brand. I really pursued a brand that I felt like, super inspired by. No one else was. They were still sort of an emerging brand, and they were doing something that I just thought no one else was doing, and I wanted to be a part of it. So my first job was as an intern. But actually how I stumbled into that internship was via Craigslist. So I was graduating school at the time and I was looking for a job, and the Brooklyn Circus was actually looking to start hosting some sort of like fashion related events. And they were looking for a door guy with sort of like a specific look. And I stumbled upon it on Craigslist. And even though my aspirations were to be more involved with the brand in a bigger capacity and really learn and officially work there, I was like, well, if the only way in is to be a door guy, then that's what I'll do. So, I really took the opportunity to prove to them that I could be of more value, and that I would do anything it took to kind of work for them. And, they thought I was crazy, but they gave me a shot, and then I went in there and learned everything I could from them. But I also tried to really provide like what I thought I could help, bring value to the brand. And to this day, I think it's been one of the most defining jobs I've ever had. You can't tell from the screen, but I'm covered in tattoos. And I started doing that very early. When I was 15, actually, I got my first tattoo. And, not only being a minority, but then sort of, doing something that back then was considered sort of frowned upon, or as they would call like job killers or whatever. I certainly didn't help probably my own cause for, at least what I thought was an industry sort of perception. But actually, what it did was it really strengthened my confidence. I think it really made me, be unapologetically me and own who I was and wanted to be, and never let sort of all that noise be a reason for me to compromise. I think to this day, I've treated being a minority, being sort of that guy, as a superpower, looking at it less of something that, makes me the smallest voice in the room, but rather the most unique. Being different, being a minority, I think is actually what makes you special. The world could use more diversity of thought, more differentiation in the room. My name's Calvin Leung, and I'm the head of marketing and creative for Yeezy Gap. And my one pro tip is follow your gut. As long as you're listening to your heart, I think that you'll make the right decisions. Your mind can tell you something's right or wrong, but I think your heart sort of always tells you what you already know. And I think if you listen to that, it will bring you where you're meant to be.